How to start your Monday morning. Start the fire, boil the water, grind the coffee, add filter, coffee in the filter, water into filter, watch it drip, more water, watch it drip some more, fill your cup, raise your cup, and no. Leave the house and leave it up to the professionals to make the coffee. I'll stick to the conversations. Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen.
Hey, well, good morning. Happy National Coffee Day. You know, it's one of my favorite holidays. And of course, tomorrow is my birthday. You know, I miss it by a day every year, but I will take any excuse to celebrate, which is why I've got my big old cup here today. Speaking of celebrations, we are just 5 episodes out from hitting 100. I am super excited about this. Big plans in the works. Capri's laughing at me because she's like, really? What are they? I'm like, as soon as we know, we will let you know. But yeah, it is super exciting. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has joined me on the couch and the chair for whatever, you know, the coffee, the conversations, but most of all the connections. And that is really what this has always been about when I started it back in November of 2023. So fun fact, some coffee facts for you here. American adults drink about 490 million cups of coffee every day. There are some deals to be had today. So in case you are a coffee drinker and you're looking for a good discount, Big B Coffee, they are offering a medium iced or hot coffee for just $1. And I had the pleasure of meeting Bob Fish actually it's been about 7 years ago. I went to their headquarters and it was amazing. I took the twins with me and their meeting room was like a big beanbag room. It was just insane and so much fun. And of course, all the coffee we could drink, so we couldn't beat that. Dunkin', they are offering a free medium hot or iced coffee to its reward members. Of course, you have to order that one on the app. And at Krispy Kreme, this one is a deal because this one you get a coffee and a donut. So that's going on all day and you don't even have to purchase anything. You can just go in there and say, I would like my coffee and my donut, please. So Krispy Kreme, I know where I'm heading after this. So thanks so much for being with us. Of course, today is a special halfway to 100 episode in honor of aging gracefully, which I have to say in all transparency that I try to do pretty much to be, not thinking, I can't believe it. I can't believe how old I'm getting. But, with everything going on in the world, it's better to be grateful and to really appreciate everything. And just as every day goes by, honestly, I have to say, you know what? Thanks. I'm glad to be here, right? So that is my deal with that. So we had the pleasure of going to Jewish Senior Life of Metropolitan Detroit. They let us spend the afternoon there, and we were with their residents for a couple of hours one day, and I was able to ask them my very favorite question, which is, of course, what would you tell your younger self if you were to meet them for coffee? So I sat down with Connie. Let's watch. Okay, I am sitting here with Connie Kay. And Connie, thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me and talk to me a little bit. You are 85 years old.
Yes.
And you have a birthday coming up in September.
Yes.
Okay, so resilience, what does it mean to you?
The resilience means to me is getting up in the morning and getting started with my day and trying to do some exercise and trying to push myself to do that. I enjoy doing that. I have other things going on and I do participate.
So being active is key for you?
Yes.
Okay, so if you were to meet your younger self for coffee, what would you tell her and what age would you want to meet yourself?
I think right after high school, I would tell myself to do what you want to do and push yourself to do it, and you'll be successful.
Do you think has fear ever slowed you down?
Yes. I used to be a little shy in high school, but as I got older, it made myself feel more confident in life. And I kept going and doing.
And how would you define positivity?
Positively is making sure I complete what I should be doing and wanting to do.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And if you had one word to sum up your life to this point, what would it be?
I got to the point of I lived in Florida for 16 years, and my family wanted me to come back. I did come back. I was not hesitant. I did come back, and I'm enjoying being at Hickman. Made a lot of new friends. I knew people from before, and I do a lot of things here.
So you're happy.
Yeah, I am.
And that's all that matters. At
Yes.
85, guess what? You deserve to be happy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking the time, and happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, a big thank you to Connie for talking to me that day, and also to the team at Jewish Senior Life. Of course, all faiths are welcome there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, you walk the halls, they've got puzzle tables. It is just, I mean, I actually like going there and hanging out, actually. So you can find out more information about them at jslmi.org. Okay, we are going to get down to business, girls. We are short 2 guests. There was some miscommunication going on, but that's okay. We've got this, right?
We do.
Okay, so I am with Carrie West, right?
Yes.
And Deborah Falzon, and thank you so much for being with me. Of course, you both are experienced in the senior realm of things.
Yes.
Right? So you are with Care Patrol.
Correct.
Okay, so Care Patrol, and you are a real estate agent.
Senior real estate
Specialist. Yes. So that is something, until I had met you, I honestly was like, oh, there's actually agents that specialize in that. And what an important factor to take into account, because there's so much that happens when your elderly parents are selling their homes, or maybe one of them has passed away or something, right? There's a lot of factors to take into consideration.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Care Patrol, that was founded back in 1993.
Correct.
You said by a social worker and her husband.
Yes.
What were those circumstances?
They were working in the hospital setting and realized that people were being discharged without any real proper instruction or guidance or even education where the best possible place for them to go would be if, in fact, they could not go home safely on their own. So the president, now current president of our company, and her husband founded it and began to guide people as a very small company. We're now the largest placement service, senior care service franchise in 47 states in the United States and Canada. So it's grown exponentially over the last 30 years.
So
and
how long have you been with them?
I've been with them going on 9 years now.
Okay, so 9 years, but you have been in this sector for a long time.
Yes, over 20 years. And I'm a certified senior advisor and also a certified dementia practitioner. So I have certifications in both areas. So we help to educate. My favorite part of this is educating people in the communities, going out to senior centers, hospitals, churches, clubs, private, groups, and just really getting people to be aware of the options that are out there. Nobody wants to leave their home. Obviously, we all want to age in place if possible. That's the best scenario. Unfortunately, due to health concerns or other reasons, sometimes people with memory loss can no longer live safely at home alone. So they need some assistance either in the home or out of the home. And so we advocate for them. We become the person who helps to guide them and their families through this journey of aging. And
what is the biggest question you get asked when people meet you right off the bat?
First of all, why should they use me versus doing it on their own? I would say that's the biggest question people ask me. And my answer would always be because there's thousands of different places out in just the Metro Detroit area alone. Mm-hmm. They're not all licensed. They're not all good. They're not all staffed. And, since COVID, that's a big problem is staffing in all of the healthcare industry across the board.
That has never recovered, I don't think, has it?
It's getting better.
Okay.
It's getting better. And we now have trade schools are training new certified nurse assistants, which we call CNAs in the industry.
Right.
So it's coming back, but it's certainly not to pre-COVID yet. So there are a lot of communities that are understaffed or using staffing agencies versus their own employees. And it makes a big difference in how that care is given to their patients and residents.
So you two know each other.
Yes,
right?
very well.
Yeah, so you two are good friends. And so do you work together? I mean, do you ever tag team it, or do you call one another and say, hey, I have this client that might need your help? Or how
Absolutely.
does,
Absolutely. Yeah, because I could never place anybody in a senior living community because Carrie knows all of them and the licensure and everything about the communities. So I know that when I hand over my client to Carrie, that they're going to get the best place for them.
and be in good
what they
hands,
need.
right?
Absolutely. Instead of just telling a son or daughter, yeah, there's a couple down the street, go check them out. That's not the way to go.
So you mentioned licensing, and
Yes.
so there must be a database or something. Can regular people look that up and say, oh, this is where I'm checking, and are they licensed?
Not all communities are licensed.
Okay.
Depending on the number of residents they have, the state either requires them or doesn't require them. But even within the licensing realm, there's three different levels of licensing. Yeah. So there's homes for the aged, which would be an assisted living or memory care.
Okay.
There is an AFC license, which stands for adult foster care, and those are senior residential care homes that are anywhere from 1 to 20 residents. So it's based on the number of residents. And then also anything over a certain level of care would be a skilled nursing license. So skilled nursing facility that runs under that license. So there's 3 different licenses in Michigan. They all have hugely different requirements, both for care, the level of caregivers per patient ratio, and you would never know that just by looking up anything online because none of it's published. The only place you might be able to find ratings would be on the LARA, L-A-R-A website under stateofmichigan.gov. And there's a nursing home compare, and there's a star rating based on Medicare.gov. So Medicare does an annual survey in each one of the nursing homes, skilled nursing homes, and they have a rating. But assisted livings and memory cares, residential care homes, and none of the independent living communities are ever rated under that system. So that's why you need somebody like me to help you navigate it, because it can be very confusing and extremely overwhelming.
Well, plus it can be especially overwhelming when it's an urgent situation, right?
Yeah.
And people
many
are
of the
coming,
people we meet are in crisis situations.
right? So especially being a real estate, what's your title again?
Seniors real estate specialist.
Okay, so for you, how do people come to you?
So I work in the 50 and over community. So it starts with people that want to downsize their homes and maybe get their little place with a palm tree and maybe something smaller here, all the way up to referring to Carrie maybe to an independent living community, because back in the day, most people think that they're nursing homes, but these independent living communities are like...
They're gorgeous, right?
Yeah, they're like being on a cruise ship.
Right.
And then all the way up to helping people with their parents making that decision. All of a sudden, the doctor says they can't live in the colonial anymore. It's just not safe. They can't navigate stairs and whatnot. So, yeah, Carrie comes in and counsels with the family and just explains the things that she can do for them. And
so for you, how do you now, how come you became a specialist?
I'll try to make a long story really short. Years ago, my dad had passed, and my mother was still very independent until she wasn't. And she had an episode where she had a hospital stay, and then the hospital called me and said, well, now she has to go to rehab. And I'm like, cool, tell me where to meet her. They said, no, tell me where to take her. Well, at that moment in my life, I knew nobody in the senior living industries anywhere except for one person that happened to be a marketing director for Independence Villages. So I called her. I'm like, help. They went. I had 24 hours to tell them where she had to go. And like, the only thing I know about these places are what I see on the news. So obviously that's not good. So she gave me 3 recommendations, and I got my mom into this one community, and it was fantastic. And she absolutely blossomed. My mother was very gregarious, very much a people person. She was helping the seniors. I'm like, well, somebody forgot to tell you you're one of them, but that's okay. And so while she was there for 6 weeks, I told my husband, I said, we're gonna get mom a apartment at Independence Village because she wasn't alone or lonely, but it was just family.
Okay.
And she didn't have a lot of friends to do things with because she wasn't driving anymore. So there she was friends with everybody.
And didn't have to worry about transportation.
Exactly.
Right?
And then when we moved her into the apartment, it was the, one of those things. I wish I would have done it sooner, but wasn't.
Well, so that's what's interesting too, is that everyone, we were talking before about how everyone says, oh no, I'm not leaving my home. I'm going to stay here. I want to die here. This is, aging in place. This is what I'm doing. But when you think about the social aspect of it, and you think about, well, you could make friends. And because how often do they get to see their friends anymore if they don't drive?
That's true.
Right?
And it's also a huge part of the aging process is when people are alone due to a spouse maybe passing, they become very isolated. It also creates a whole nother host of problems, depression, isolation. And sadly, since COVID, even the suicide rate has gone up in seniors, which is a horrible thing. So you don't want to have that isolation. And so they all panic when they leave their home because if you could equate the analogy to maybe, a junior high person who's around the same people all the time since, maybe kindergarten, first grade, and they've all moved together, school to school to school, and they're all familiar and they're all comfortable with that environment and the people that are in it. And then all of a sudden, now you're asking them to leave that environment and go into high school where there's all these other people that are strangers that they don't know. And there's fear. There's a lot of fear and a lot of apprehension.
Can I call you next year when my twins start high school?
Absolutely. I'll help you navigate that too.
Can you navigate?
Sure.
But it is interesting because there's so much that goes into it. And when you're a new homeowner and you're just starting out in your life and it's exciting and you're like, we're going to live here forever. And then you're like, we're not living here forever.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's so many transitions. And I think that this is probably one of the toughest because of what you just said.
It is. And they don't want to leave their homes. They've been in their homes for 50, 60 years, some people, and all their things are how they identify themselves. And so why I love Deborah and why I started referring my clients to Deborah when I had to move them into senior living is because she has that very calming nature about her. And it does take that with seniors. It's a different type of understanding. It's patience. It's, you want them to be treated with dignity and the respect that they deserve and they've earned throughout their lifetime. So I think it's really important that when Deborah takes over, I know when I give her a referral or one of my clients that she's going to treat them exactly like a family member, exactly like she's helping her own mother or aunt or someone like that, because it is important to really give them that dignity and respect that they deserve.
And compassion, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
So you both have personal stories, obviously.
Yeah.
With your mom, you mentioned, and it was your mom too, right?
Yes, my mom too.
Okay, so that has kind of shaped your outlook and how you do treat seniors because, to be honest, I know that when you're just out in the community sometimes you can see older people and they might be taking a little bit longer in the grocery store and you can hear people griping behind them.
Absolutely.
And you're thinking, okay, can't you just cut them a break? But not everyone is like that.
No, unfortunately, not everybody is like that. And we do need to really respect our seniors. They're the ones who've built the country for what it is today, and they are the people that have nurtured our parents and us in many respects. A lot of grandparents are raising their grandchildren now just due to the fact that most parents both have to work 2 jobs. And so grandparents play a huge role in society today in that, they're either helping out with babysitting or they're driving and picking up from, high schoolers or junior high school kids. Yeah. My mom, I was a single mom for 20 years at one point, and my mom was able to go pick up my kids from school and take them to their sporting events and pick them up from their sporting events. And so that made a big difference in my life.
Yes.
And so therefore, when she got sick, for me, it was a natural thing to take care of her, to move her up from Florida, move her into my home. Wasn't always easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Having, 2 queens in the same household doesn't always
How'd that
work out
for you?
Yeah, because I would come home and my mom would have everything moved around the house, and
no, this is where
I
it needs
couldn't
to be.
find anything. Right.
You're like,
So
no
yeah,
way.
but you're right, though, that there is a lack of respect for seniors, and I really, really wish we could turn that around because, we're going to be them someday.
Right, for
I'm
sure.
getting closer and closer. I'm going to
we're
be
lucky.
65.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
In January.
I would never have thought that.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm eligible for Medicare now.
It's also confusing, right?
Oh, very confusing. Medicare is a nightmare. Yeah.
So you mentioned leaving their homes and stuff, right? And so I want you to kind of talk about this because how often do you go into a home and you look and you're like, how are we ever going to pare this down? And at the same time, it is their life and their memories. But you're like,
Exactly.
okay, I'll get the garbage bag and we'll just go through it,
Well,
right?
not quite that extreme. Garbage bags, not in the beginning, but just just having a conversation and just talking about the memories and where the things came from. I mean, some of my clients are well traveled, so they have artifacts from all over the world. So we have conversations about that. If they have children, I'm like, have your kids come and take what they would like and display it in their home or use it in their home. And then decide, if we're going to a senior living community, we know the floor plan.
And the
we
space,
know,
right?
we know exactly what will fit where, and and we have a planner that helps us with that. And we go back and forth with the floor plan. Well, you want that giant credenza. Well, what wall are you going to put it on, and what is that going to replace? Might not be able to get the couch in. You'd probably rather have the couch than
Right.
the giant.
So there's so much thought that goes into this.
And it's a very delicate procedure. It isn't like, guess what? The truck's here. You're going.
Right.
It's very, very well thought out.
Okay, so let's talk about families for a minute. Just the idea of, you said, when people come in and say, oh, take your, maybe your children would like something. How do you navigate that because I have found that families don't always get along, especially when it comes to, I don't even know what it would be called, like the credenza or, something that's very special.
Yeah,
the gravy
valuables
dish or, something
Right.
that means a lot
Sentimental.
to all of them. And then do you help them navigate that or have you had to deal with that?
Yes. And I just, I've got one client right now. He's one of 5. And I said, and he's the executor of the estate. And I said, you have to have everybody over together at the same time. And everybody gets a pack of sticky notes. And everybody has a conversation about who gets what. And they went through and...
Are those colored so they can tell their...
And they write their name on it. And so everything was tagged throughout the house. So the house is under contract right now. The house is still full. So once we close on the house, they have 30 days, and then my estate sale person is going to come in. So they're going to take their things that they've tagged, and then she's going to liquidate the rest.
So estate sales.
Yes.
What can you tell me about those?
Well, we have a partner that we work with that does helps with downsizing and estate sales. They also do online sales, and they have contacts for online sales for things that may be of value that we may not find them of any value, but they know that they are of value, so they have online auctions for those things.
Nice.
It helps to retain, financial support for these people when they are moving into a senior living community, and also could leave a nest egg for their heirs. So there's lots of different ways that things can be disposed of. Lastly, it would be to, donate them. Our clients donate a lot of things to the community so that others can use them, which is kind of cool. I mean, vintage is in again, so a lot of the
right?
things, yes, a lot of the things that the seniors have are actually really sought after from younger people
and the one you're
now.
going to go buy at Target's not going to be the same, right?
Right. I mean, I used to go to Sally's, the Salvation Army when I
right,
was in my 20s, and
Okay.
it worked out for me. So
Right.
a lot of these things are being recycled again and upcycled, which is really kind of cool.
It is cool. What is one thing that you wish people knew though when it comes to either their parent having to move into a facility or sell their home? I mean, what is the one thing that you wish people just knew as a standard before anything gets started?
To let your parents be involved and make the decision for themselves. And you just are there to support them and help them, but at the same time, keep them involved as much as possible. I like to take the patients or residents, if possible, on the tours so that they can see where their new home's going to be. It takes a huge fear factor out of the equation.
I guess I didn't think about that.
Because they think all there is out there is a nursing home. And a nursing home is a very clinical setting. I mean, it's made for 24/7 care like a hospital, whereas assisted living and smaller residential care homes are just like moving into your own home. You have your own apartment in an assisted living or a memory care. You have your own bathroom. You have your own everything.
And a kitchen too,
And
right?
your own little kitchen or kitchenette.
belongings.
Yeah, you
Right.
can
Yeah.
still cook. You still have your freedom and independence and independent living and assisted living in many cases. And the residential care homes, you get the exact same amount of care that you would get in a skilled nursing home at a residential home like you and I live in with this same kind of environment.
Wow.
With 24/7 care. And that can be as clinically independent as they need to be. Maybe they just have early onset dementia and can't live safely at home. But maybe they need 24/7 care and they are bedridden or they are on hospice, but someone can't take care of them at home. There are homes for that as well. So the whole spectrum, we can work through just depending on what everybody's individual needs are.
Right. And you just have to kind of, I guess a lot of people I have heard, don't know where to even start.
Correct.
Right. So
Because there is so much.
There's so
so
out there,
many.
right?
Yeah.
So where would you say to start?
As far as deciding on where to move
Or
from.
the house, the house aspect of it, I guess. Because I know if a person can't get around in their home anymore, then obviously that's the next step is for them to move somewhere else. But when do you tell people, like, hey, maybe you should consider, downsizing and going before you have to, I guess.
If there's no way to make the house safe, like if the only shower is on the second floor, and they don't want to, some people are, I'm not installing one of those chairs in my houses because they're hideous. Like, well, you have to take a shower and you can't go up those stairs by yourself. If we can't retrofit the house for them, then let's have a conversation with Carrie and just go on a tour. It doesn't cost you anything. It just takes a little bit of your time. But when you go into these different communities, like I said, that's like going on a cruise ship. I mean, it's golf simulators and bars and restaurants and
Oh yeah,
Really?
and
happy hour on Wednesdays and
happy hour,
Fridays.
yes, packed schedule with
Wow.
knitting or a book club or when the one my mom was in, the gentlemen every Saturday afternoon they had their I think they were playing poker. I don't know. They were playing cards, but
They were gambling.
I don't know. But no, you're still an adult. And if they guess if they wanted to gamble, I'm sure they could.
For sure.
And they would go to the local high school a certain afternoon and go swimming, or they would go on all kinds of outings. And I mean, their calendars are packed. If you can't find something to do in a day, then I mean, it's crazy because they're packed. Groups, clubs, there's beauty salons in these places. I mean, that's...
And I know when I was at Jewish Senior Life that there were dogs there.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
you can have your
So
pet.
pets,
Communities
right?
allow pets. Yep.
Okay.
And if they don't allow the pet to live there, they have pet therapy. Pet therapists come in. Your family members can bring in pets. So a lot of that going on. Some communities even have swimming pools.
Wow.
They do, water aerobics. They have exercise class every day. There's just so much to do. And it really does help with the mental health side of things for seniors. It keeps you active. It keeps you social. And we are social beings. So we want to be with other people. We want to be in community with other people. So it's a natural thing. And you just have to help them take that step and overcome that fear of reaching out maybe. Because nobody really wants to admit they need help.
Right.
And yet we all do at some point in our life.
For sure. And, it is kind of interesting because I have had a couple family members who, no, not moving, her family didn't want to move her. And she lived, I think, 6 more years than what they had initially thought because she was having so much fun.
Right.
Right? It was like the social calendar,
Well,
right?
my mom didn't want to leave me because she had it made living at my house with
Right.
the kids. And of course, I was waiting on her hand and foot.
Of
But,
course, right?
I was also working full time and had 2 teenagers. So it was like, Mom, you need to go get your own place.
Right.
And She fought me kicking and screaming every step of the way. And within 30 days of her moving in there, I used to have to call the front desk to find her.
Seriously.
Because she wouldn't answer her phone. And I had no idea where she was. And
Like,
they're
where's my mother?
Oh, she's at, choir, or she's at, arts and crafts, or wherever. She was so busy and so happy, and she blossomed, like Deborah said. I mean, people really do come out of their shell when they move into senior living communities, no matter what size or what stage they're in.
Right. So how did that make you feel as watching
the
her?
Best part of my job and the best part of what I do is, seeing the results of someone finding the best fit for them. And, my services are free, so it's kind of silly for people not to use me.
Oh, see?
I am free of charge. It doesn't cost anything for families to use me. And I'm pretty much available 24/7. I hate to put that out there.
I was going to say, really?
I do answer my phone, not in the middle of the night, but I will answer it first thing in the morning. But yeah, it's a thing that you sign up for. It's more of a mission than a job. I feel like it's a calling. It's something that I've really blossomed myself personally doing. I feel like I get way more out of it than I put into it. So it's a joy to work with seniors.
See, and that's what I'm hoping my kids learn. I mean, they were lucky enough they have their grandparents. They even had their great-grandparents for a while.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and so it was amazing. So when they see the pictures of them with their, they're like, oh, that was, they just call it Grandma Ruby or Poppy or whatever. But it was really great-grandfather and great-grandma.
Special relationships really are formed.
It's amazing. And my grandparents impacted my life tremendously. So I think that's why I'm always like, be nice to that person, or or help them when you can, because like you said, they are who created this world for us.
Absolutely.
Well, their history and their knowledge and their stories are the best, because when I go on an appointment to meet with a senior or somebody that lists with me or whatever, in this day and age of technology, everything is DocuSign.
Yes.
But no, I take the documents to their house. I block out extra time because I know we're going to have tea, and I know we're going to have conversation, and I know I love hearing about their childhood and when they raised their children and all that kind of stuff, and what they did for their job.
Because you're in the space where all of that happened.
Right.
That is so amazing. What? Let's talk. You mentioned DocuSign, so let's talk about technology real quick, because how has that? So it's changed so much, especially since COVID. But I know that people are frustrated with, trying to deal with the technology. She's not saying a word.
Well, with me, with me personally, I just meet them where they're at. If they want to do DocuSign, absolutely, I'll set it up. Or if they want a wet sign, I come over and I hang out. I mean, I block time out for them in my calendar either way.
I think, I think that is so incredible, because it's like, what, here, I'm going to walk you through this, but we're not just going to sign these documents. We're actually going to have a conversation, and you're going to get to know them. And I think that's wonderful. What were you going to say about technology?
Technology can really help with the care in my side of the world. Once you're into a community or senior living care setting, there many times will be someone who possibly might have Parkinson's, and they're a fall risk.
Okay.
So there are, bed alarms, floor alarms, chair alarms, things that will go off if someone should, get up in the middle of the night and they need a caregiver to assist them just to go to the restroom at night.
So they're not pushing a button.
They don't have to push a button.
They
they
just
step
automatically
on the floor
and it just
it's
goes
a
off.
Floor alarm.
Wow.
And as soon as their feet hit the floor, some of them have motion detectors. Some of them have a little sensor in the corner of the room that just senses movement in the room. And all these things are tied into some kind of communication system to the caregivers 24/7.
Wow.
So they know what room the person's in, where to go to. They have GPSs in the communities. Yeah, I mean, technology is really helping with care.
It is, yeah.
In fact, it won't be too long now that, I don't know if you're aware, but I noticed you have a Henry Ford right here. Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit is building the biggest and best technologically advanced hospital right now as we speak. So we're going to be lucky to have it right here in Detroit.
Yeah, that is awesome.
It is.
So the care for this, so what does qualify as, I don't probably want to know this answer, what qualifies as a senior citizen?
55 and up.
I knew you were going to say that.
We don't call them senior citizens anymore, though. We just,
Okay, so tell me, what are we?
I mean, I just say older adults,
Right?
Seasoned.
Seasoned, right?
Seasoned.
But-
yes, like
but isn't-
fine wine. We get
Yes,
better
right.
with
Get
age.
better with age.
Yes.
So what? But how it has all evolved, though, is interesting, right?
Yes.
I mean, just the technology aspect of it, the care, all of the thought that does go into it now, because people are realizing, is especially the aging in place.
Right.
Right. So I don't know how often you see that of people just saying, you know what, let's just revamp this whole house. Do you see that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a team of people that can come in and put the rails in showers and raise toilet seats up, bring kitchen things that they need down more to their level so they're not grabbing a step stool and climbing up to try to get something. So we kind of retrofit their house to where they're at in their life right now.
And it looks nice.
And it looks
Right?
nice.
So,
Yes.
So talk about that, because, I mean, cosmetically pleasing is a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in your home and you don't want it to look like a hospital.
Right.
Right? So when you're saying you retrofit stuff, it is done with taste, and I mean,
Yes,
it's nice,
absolutely.
right? So it's not like...
Yeah, and there's a lot of companies now. In fact, one of them is on our Senior Compass group that we put together so that professionals can work together and be a complete solution to our clients. They have, shelving inserts that can actually bring the shelf down to your level. So if someone is wheelchair bound in their home and they choose to stay home, which, we would all love to do, obviously, if you have the right home that can be
That can
retrofitted,
do it, right?
of course. There's all kinds of gadgets and things that can be adapted now. There's different kinds of closet inserts, that can bring the bars down to your level. There's all kinds of things that we can do.
How do people find that stuff, though?
Call us.
They call us.
See, I gave that to you.
Yes, thank you for the short, low-hanging fruit. I love it.
So your services are free.
Yes.
Okay, so people just literally call you up.
Call me up.
And
Go
say, I
on
want to take a tour. What are we looking for?
Yep, call me up. I like to start with sitting down with them one-on-one, either in their home or, we meet at a coffee shop or whatever, since we all work out of our homes from Care Patrol. So they will give us a background. Again, like Deborah said, I want to get to know the person.
Right.
Who are you? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
Because
are you
then
a
you'll
reader?
know where they
do you
fit,
like
right?
quiet? Are
Yeah.
you an introvert or are you an extreme extrovert? And you want to plug into all these activities. You want to go on the field trips. You want to go to the Tiger game. You want to go to the casino. Or do you really just like to be home and read and have quiet time? Or, maybe have coffee with a friend.
Oh, let's do that. Sign me up for that one.
Yeah. Not all of our personalities are different. So, of course, the requirements are different. And then the care level comes into play, too. Do you need care now? Or do you just want to be completely solely independent in a 55 and older community where you're solely independent? Sometimes meals are included. Sometimes they're not.
And those dining rooms are magnificent.
They really are.
I mean, it's like
Aesthetically,
fine
these
dining.
communities
It is.
now,
Yeah.
you're being waited on hand and foot there. So, like Deborah said, we like to call them cruise ships on land because literally you can plug into as much or as little as you want to in most of these communities. They all have activities. Some have educational programs. They go to the DIA. You're not losing your life, you're gaining.
Probably getting more
Don't you? Yeah.
being there for sure. And even like getting back to the dining, you're paying to be there, obviously,
Right.
and they bring in chefs. I mean, these people truly care about what they bring out of their kitchen. So when you're dining, it's dining in a restaurant, and the quality's impeccable. I mean, I've eaten at a few senior living communities, and it's
Can you just
impressive.
walk in and have dinner, or do you have to?
Well, if you do a tour, you can. We can go on a tour and make sure lunch or dinner's included. That'll work.
Let's go on a bunch of tours and just be like, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We just want to do the whole route, right?
There you go.
What do you deal mostly with, men or women? Both of you? Or is it split?
Well, I would say, statistically, women do still live longer than men, but men are catching up because they're retiring a little bit earlier now. So they're being able to enjoy their lives more at a younger age versus some of them working maybe to 60, 70, 80.
Right.
So because they're able sometimes to retire earlier, we're getting a lot more men in communities. And that's another thing that's important to using me versus doing it on your own. I know the communities that have more men than women. And so, they'll have a men's club. They'll go on field trips, just the guys.
Really?
They go fishing. They
That's
go
cool.
hunting sometimes,
Right.
and they have these little clubs of their own. So it's important to know where those communities are because they're not the norm. Let's face it. Typically, it's an 80-20 women to men ratio. So, the women are fighting over every guy that walks in the door.
It's funny that you say that because a couple weeks ago, we played a video that with Stephen, who was at Jewish Senior Life, and he's 100 years old. And in the video, he says, I said, well, do you have a lot of friends? He's like, I do have a lot of friends, but they're mostly women. And he's like, they fight over me.
That's right.
And it's just how it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, everybody, just because they're 80 doesn't mean they've lost interest in anything.
It's like, I've heard of people have, meeting and having
They get married.
They get
in their
married,
80s.
right?
Oh, yeah.
That is so cool.
It is cool.
See, it's not the end. It's just another chapter.
Just another chapter.
Another chapter and just a different place. In a lot of the communities, you have your car there. You can come and go. It's not like you're, in a
Stranded?
hospital where you're locked down or whatever. No,
Right.
you're free to be.
Oh,
yeah. All the way to end of life. I mean, you could be in the highest care facility and still have the ability for your family to come in and enjoy dinners with you or for them to take you home. You
for like
for a day,
especially
for
the
a
holidays.
weekend,
Yeah,
for
holiday
whatever
weekend
you
or-
want. I mean, nothing says that you can't leave.
Right.
It's just a matter of
But see, it's the
keeping
mindset.
them safe and making sure that, they have the medications that they need while they're out on either their field trips or visits home or what have you. So,
but that is funny because you think, the car, the field trips you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's just these thoughts of, go out there and live some more.
absolutely.
Right? And enjoy it. So, Deborah, how do people find you as far as if they needed help with a house?
So just call me. Deborah at DeborahFalzon.com. You can find me online or, just call and we can sit down and just like Carrie does an initial consultation, I do too. I do a needs analysis and figure out, what your thoughts are, what your plans are. Because like I said early on, I meet with people that are like, okay, the house is big, the kids are gone. I want something a little bit smaller because Michigan winters are brutal.
Right.
And I need a palm tree. So I help people find their place in Florida or wherever they choose to go, and a nice place here too. So they have the freedom of just picking up and going whenever they want to go.
That is just lovely, isn't it?
It is.
So you heard me ask Connie that question, so now I'm going to ask both of you the question. What would you tell your younger self if you were to meet her for coffee?
I would tell my younger self to enjoy everything that you do in the moment and really be present in the present. Because, you can't go back and fix your mistakes.
Right.
But you certainly can look forward to the future, but enjoy the present that you're in.
And how about you, Deborah?
Don't sweat the small stuff, because at the end of the day, it is just small stuff. And that too shall pass.
Right. And it seems, why do we learn that so late?
I know.
I mean, really?
Yeah. Well, we need to teach our younger generation these things now so that when they get older, I will say one thing, though. I have a son who's 36, and he's traveled the world. So kids do it differently than we did.
Okay.
We used to grow up, go to high school, go to college, get married, get a job, and live our lives. That was kind of the plan.
Following the outline, right?
Yeah, following the little plan and the outline, the blueprint for life or whatever. Kids today, or at least the ones that I know that are my son's friends in their 30s, they're getting married later. They're enjoying their life in their 20s. I mean, most of them don't even get married till they're in their 30s now. So their whole 20s is exploration, and they're learning and they're growing and
going places.
Yeah, and going places. They travel all over the world. It's like where we used to go to Florida once a year for spring
Traverse
break.
City.
Yeah, and up north in the summer.
Maybe Mackinac, right?
Right. That was a big deal. You know, kids today are going to Europe and they're traveling
Even
the
with
world.
school,
and
they're doing that, right? It's like,
yeah,
they're
study
going to
abroad.
Yeah.
I mean, we never did that. Oh. So yeah, their world is much bigger, and a lot of it's due to the internet, obviously, because they have exposure to more than we ever did.
They know there's more out there than just us.
Right. And they want to go see it, and they
do.
want to experience it, and I applaud them for that. I think it'll keep them younger, too.
For sure, yeah. So it's funny, my twins wanted to go out of the country. That was their big thing this summer. You know, we got to go out of the country. All our friends are doing it. And I'm like, okay, what, you know, and so one wanted to go to a water park, the other one wanted to go out of the country. Then they both wanted to go out of the country. So I finally thought, you know what, where am I going to take them? And so I'm like, we'll go to Niagara Falls. We'll go to Canada.
There you go. Hey, it qualifies as out of the country.
So we hopped in the car, and they're like, where are we going? We're driving to another country. And I'm like, yes, we are. But it was so funny because they were like, oh, now we can tell our friends that we went to a different country. But they thought it was so cool with the Tim Hortons and the speed limit, right? The whole speed limit. They're like, why is it 100? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's gun it, man. Not really. But yeah, so it's all about those experiences, but in helping them do the stuff that they want to do, but it's also wanting them to treat everyone with respect and love too. Right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And especially our older population.
Yes, 100%. Definitely being compassionate, understanding, seek to understand others. You know, I mean, we don't know what these people have been through, and these generations have been through way more than we've ever been through. They've lived through many wars and all different change. I mean, some of these people in their late 90s and, you know, even early hundreds. I mean, if you think about it, 100 years ago, they just got cars, you know?
Right.
And now we have cars that drive themselves. Right. So it's just a huge amount of knowledge and wisdom, like Deborah said earlier, that they have to share if we're just there to listen.
Right. And I think listening is most of it, right? And the kids, do you ever see the kids treat their parents kind of rude or I mean, is it kind of a power struggle or?
A little bit of a power struggle, not all.
Okay.
You know, there's been a handful of, you know, the majority want what's best for mom and dad. But, you know, there's a couple that kind of try to steer them in a certain direction. And
so do you have any advice for adult children who may have to help their parents move or, you know, go into a facility? I mean, what is your advice to the actual kids that have to deal with this?
Ask them what they want. You know, ask them, what do they enjoy doing? I mean, who knows your parents better than you do? What have your parents been doing up until this point? So maybe we find a community that embraces that.
Do you have anything to add?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I say, as I said before, I think that, you know, getting your parents involved in the decision-making process is huge. That, you know, you want to know, part of our assessment is, you know, hobbies. What did you do when you were in your 20s? What did you do in your 30s? Because that evolves as well, you know, because health-wise, when your health declines, you can't necessarily do all the physical things you might have done, but we can adapt that.
Right.
And the communities can adapt that. So maybe you played hockey and you can't skate anymore, but maybe you can still play floor hockey. You know, maybe you can still play chair hockey or roller. We had, when I worked in a nursing home once, we had wheelchair races down the hallway, and it was a hoot because, I mean, they wanted to win. I mean, they were wheeling and they were going so fast, and they were just looking behind like, I'm going to win. And, you know, so you just really want to tap into the person, the actual person, who they are, and the children to respect their wishes, their needs, their wants, their desires, and not put on them what you necessarily want for them, but what they want for themselves, and support them.
Right.
We're a support mechanism to just help them get to where they want to be. And of course, the first thing is they're going to push back because nobody wants to leave home.
Right.
You know?
So that's
I
just
don't want to
a given,
leave
right,
home.
right.
So, you know,
So just brace yourself for it.
yeah, and even like some people are lake people, for example. We live in Michigan. We have lakes all over the place. We have a lot of clients who are living on a lake. Well, they don't want to leave their lake or their woods. So I try to find them a setting where there's a lake. They can still look outside their apartment and see water or the woods or deer or wildlife, you know. So if that's important to somebody, then that's important to me when looking for a new home for them.
Right. And you actually pay attention.
Yes.
And that's key, I guess,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And letting them know that they have control. We're not going to force them into making any decisions that they don't want to make, but just showing them the options, because like back in my mother's day, there weren't the communities that are so plentiful today.
Right.
I mean, it was just nursing homes and they were horrifying. Now they're communities and they're just, it's a different place to live among your peers.
Yeah. When I hear nursing home, I think about when I was 3 years old walking through to visit my great-great-grandmother and being very afraid.
Same.
Absolutely. The smells you
Yes.
smelled. I mean,
Yes.
that's something I'll never forget. I visited my grandfather when I was 9 or 10, and I'll never forget the smell ever to this day. And so you don't have those places that smell like that anymore. You know, everything's clean and fresh and
Bright. Yeah, bright.
bright
Yes.
colors like
Yes.
this. You
Right.
know, you're not going into a cave-like environment where you're just depressed the whole time.
Right. And everyone in a bed or however you
Right.
picture it or remember
Right.
it, right?
Exactly.
It's just a whole different world.
It is.
Yeah, you're in an apartment
Yes.
versus sharing a room with somebody that you don't know, like in a hospital.
Right. Hand me that coffee, will you?
Right? Exactly. Push the button and wait a half an hour for somebody to respond. So
I dropped my pillow.
yeah.
Help me.
Yeah.
See, we've improved so much, right?
We really have.
We really have. So, well, listen, thank you both so much for being here. I know we were. You mentioned the Compass Group, the Senior Compass Group. So,
Yes.
real quick, tell me what that is, and tell everyone what that is in case they need to reach out.
Yeah. So theseniorcompassgroup.com is our group of 15 of us who I put together over the last 15 years, people, professionals like Deborah, myself. We have an estate elder care attorney. We have financial planner in the group. We have a Medicare, Medicaid specialist. We have estate sale people, professional organizers, prepaid funeral planners, hospice specialists, home care and home health specialists. So basically everything you could possibly need on that journey of aging. Move managers. We can help people move all over the country.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's not uncommon for us to move people from Florida. One of the spouses may pass and they want to come back and be with their adult children.
Right.
I had to do that for my mother. So I'm very well aware of the process and how that works. So by putting these professionals together, we go out into the community and we do a presentation, like a panel discussion called Ask the Advisor, and we'll go anywhere.
Okay.
And it's free to have us, and we offer free consultations with that presentation. So,
So like libraries, churches, I mean,
anywhere.
Senior centers.
Senior centers?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Senior centers, hospitals, nursing homes, independent living communities have us in because they know that not everybody will be able to stay at independent living forever. So what would their next step be? Or even while they're there, you know, do they need a will? Do they need to update their will? Do they need a trust? Do they need
to know
how
the
do they
difference
preserve
between a will and a trust?
Right. And how do they preserve those assets
Right.
for the future? So our financial planners and our elder attorney will help them with that as well. So
Veterans
we try to be the
benefits.
one-stop shopping.
Okay.
So that's what our Senior Compass Group was formed to do, is educate and advocate in the community.
Well, I think that is so, and it speaks volumes for both of you and everyone involved
you.
in that group, right?
Thank
Because you care. And
We
I-
do care.
Yeah. and
I would do all of this for free, honestly, because when I was doing it, and Deborah too, when she was doing it with her mom, we didn't have a me or a her to help us navigate this system back then.
Right.
And it's even more complicated now than ever.
And so here you are.
Here we are.
Here
we are to help.
All right, thanks. And you know what? Another thing, this is going to sound really cheesy, but Dr. Kogan, Dr. Sal Kogan, I don't know if you guys know him, but he is the clinic director of the Nerve and Disc Institute. And so he does everything holistic. And there's no surgery, no downtime. And he actually wants to heal from, like holistically and heal without any of that stuff.
We love that.
Yes, so that is very cool. And what's interesting too is that he was actually on the After Dark show and was talking about how pain actually affects relationships too.
Absolutely.
Right? So moving, all of this. So it all kind of ties in. And he actually suffered a major injury himself, so he kind of knows what it's all about. But I talked to a lot of his patients, and they were all like, you know what? I crawled in there literally because my knees hurt so bad, and I walked out. So it is really amazing. So if you're ever looking for a doctor,
wonderful.
For sure.
Right? Yeah, no, seriously. He is something else as far as what he's able to help people do. So you can give him a call or you can check him out at nervediscinstitute.com. And if you mention Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, there's 50% off the treatment plan. Just saying.
I love that.
Wow, nice.
So maybe keep that in the back of your minds because
and
so
share
many...
our information
Yes.
with him. We'd love to have him on our panel as a guest sometime.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it is so important to keep everyone moving, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both so much. I
Thank you,
appreciate you
Brooke.
taking
Thanks
the
so
time.
much for having
all right?
us, Brooke.
And we will talk soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to start drinking my very big cup of coffee now.
Okay, great.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.